Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. I do all sorts of planner and stationery stuff here on the YouTubes, and today we are going to be walking through my Sterling Ink Common Planner setup. This is my Common Planner. It's an Emoterm cover. I've talked so much about this cover on my channel already, so you guys probably know it well, but we're gonna go through this planner and just talk a little bit about how I'm using it right now, even though it technically doesn't start until January, and what I plan to do once January hits. So stay tuned and I'll take you over to the flat lay. So I have my Common Planner in the Moterm Veg Tan cover in the color khaki. I have an unboxing for this. I'll leave it up above. I've talked so much about this cover on my planner channel right now, so no need to go through it again, but let's open her up. I do have both covers on the inside of the planner. I just find it helps to anchor the planner better and it doesn't go like sliding around. So I have that there. And in this first pocket here, I have some sticker sheets. This is a winter sticker sheet from Paper Minty Studio that I have been using this month in this planner. You will see more of it later, but I just have a couple sticker sheets there that I want to use up. I have one of these book darts in this planner because I really want to tape or just pin some sort of picture here. I can't figure out what I want to do exactly, but essentially it would be like the picture would be like tucked into this book dart like that, and I can change it out and stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna put there yet, so hence that's why it's blank, but I have it there just to remind me. And I should also be using it to keep this page closed because I really don't care for these, like the first sort of like cover page of planners. They're not my favorite part of the planner. This is the yearly overview. I'm not really doing much with it. If you saw my planner lineup video, which I'll leave linked up above in the cards, I did plan for this to be like a vision board, but I think I'm gonna leave this blank for now. I have a couple of other ideas for it and I just need to decide what I wanna do. So I might be transforming this into sort of a project tracker for my content, or it might be a vision board. I'm not sure. So I'm just leaving it blank for now. Then we have the goal breakdown section, which is a feature of the Common Planner. It has a space for you to write your goals, a space for you to write your someday visioning for that goal, what you want to do at the end of a year, a half year, what you want to do every quarter, every month, every week, and every day. I'm not going to go through every goal that I have here. I have already talked about that in my goals video, which I'll leave in the cards, but I do have space for health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, and reading. I also have a space for Rachel in theory, but there's nothing written here yet because I knew I was going to be filming this setup and I don't want to do spoilers quite yet. So lots of cool stuff will be coming in the new year, which is great. So subscribe for that because there's going to be just so much fun stuff. I'm super excited, but I just want to wait before I announce it. And I have this tabbed off with another book dart so that I can easily access it. Then comes the quarterly planning section. So there are 4 quarters where you can plan out what you're gonna do during your year in the Sterling Ink Common Planner, but I have just filled out the one because I wanna take this one step at a time or one quarter at a time. Over here on the side, you have a priorities box, a January box, February box, and March box. I drew a delineating line down the middle. I wasn't quite sure why I did that. It just felt right, so I did it. I think what I'm gonna do is fill out these at the beginning of these months and then this at the end, and we're gonna just see how much got done, how much changed, stuff like that. I've already filled out some of the priorities for January and March because I am working on them in December as well, just getting them set up. These ones are YouTube related goals, which I'm not gonna share yet. Over here on this yearly overview side of the page, I will be using it as a habit tracker. Now I know I have talked to you guys about how habit trackers don't work for me in the past. Don't get frightened before you get frightened. What I'm doing here is I'm going to be tracking things that are specifically related to my goals, and most things will also have an alternate place that they are being tracked, usually without my effort or like without much effort from me. So the reason habit trackers don't work for me in paper form is because I typically lose sight of my planner. Like I just like fall off of my planner, and then when I come back, it's been like days or weeks and I don't have that data, and I just give up on the habit tracker entirely, or I give up on the goal entirely. So I'm doing 2 things to fix that. One is making sure these are tracked also in another location, and also 2, making sure that I have a planner habit being tracked as well. So every day I'm going to go into all my planners, square them up with one another, fill out what I did for that day, all that kind of stuff, and then I will check off that I did a planner check-in that day, and hopefully that will keep me on track for all my habit trackers. These I have in pencil right now because it's not January yet. I am testing out the habits that I want to be tracking in my Hobonichi weeks. So go check out that setup. It's up in the cards as well. But basically there are things like no spending, making sure I get my movement in, tracking my reading, that kind of stuff. Then down below, I'm going to do a weight tracker. So I also set up a version of this in my Hobonichi weeks, but I actually do want to have it in both places because I carry my Hobonichi weeks around with me. So if I need to make a quick note, like say I'm weighing myself and I don't have access to this planner, I'll just note it there. And then at the end of the day, when I do my planner check-in, I will just duplicate the information here. I believe this is also a Lindsay Scribbles trick. When I was watching one of her videos and somebody asked her like, how do you keep up with so many planners? And she was like, I just duplicate the information. It's as simple as that. And so I was like, okay, let's try it. So it is exactly the same across the planners. It's not like I'm tracking it in two different ways across the two planners. It's just gonna be the same. This is gonna be sort of like a bar chart. And then I'm gonna continue over here. I have 3 weight values here, but depending on how much weight I lose, I'm going to adjust them for Q2. The other thing I did on this page, just to add a little bit of definition, was took a gray Tombow to the headings and just outlined them, or rather filled them in there, and then also here on the sidebar as well, just to make them stand out a bit more. I did that on the goals page too. Oh, before I move on from the goals page, actually, I want to explain what the colors mean. So the colors come from my wonderful, beautiful favorite multi-pen that I have here. The blue is for someday visioning or like other type of visioning. So this gets used if it's like an aspirational thing or I want to write in a manifestation sort of framing of it. The green are milestones. So for example, lose 30 pounds is not like a goal I can actually measure. It's just like a milestone. It's like a lag measure, so to speak. And then the red is actual habits and actual actions that I can take that will lead to those milestones happening. So they call those lead measures as well, if you ever like heard the marketing term. And that's what the red is. So I have a mix of colors here, but it's all contained in a beautiful multi-pen that I got off JetPens. Also down below, I do have my tabbed system. So you may have seen this in my Hobonichi Week setup, but I really like doing the sort of thumb tag thing, and it helps me navigate my planner. And I just have one for my monthly, one for my weekly, and one for my notes. So let's move on to the monthly. I've set up December in this planner just to get a good idea of what I want December to actually look like, or rather what I want the months to actually look like. So I haven't set up January, February, or any of the other months yet. I did pre-plan all of those in my Hobonichi weeks, but honestly, I ran out of some of these stickers and I just want to wait until I get more before I pre-plan, so I'm going to order some of those soon. But basically the way this is going to look is it's going to have all of the birthdays and holidays, any sort of vacation planned out, and then it's going to keep track of my YouTube videos and my other content. So right now you can see I have my YouTube videos marked on Wednesdays and Sundays. I'm typically posting on Wednesdays and Sundays these days, so check back on my channel for those on those days. You can see that I have filled out the past 2 weeks. So I did my Moterm cover video on Wednesday, the 30th, and then I did my goals video on the 4th, and then Hobonichi Week setup earlier this week on Wednesday, and then this is, of course, the Sterling & Common Planner setup, which you're watching right now. I have other empty sort of YouTube icons to fill in what I post those days throughout the month also. And then I have a gray Tombow that marks off my vacation from work so that I'm aware. Birthdays and holidays are done the same way. I had them in my Hobonichi weeks with these little corner stickers and Sweet Freckled Designs itty bitty line stickers here in the corner. These are also Sweet Freckled Designs as well. These stickers here are from that Paper Minty Studio sheet that I showed you guys earlier in the setup. I've just been using that for the month of December to try to use it up. I think they're really, really beautiful stickers, so I'm really happy with the way that they look in this planner. As I go on in this planner, I may also try to add some sort of like daily memory or something like that. I think I'm gonna have a lot of extra space in this planner because I already do have a couple of other planners that I'm filling out too, and I think adding like a daily memory would be good, and I think I'd have the room, right? Like this day, obviously I don't have any room, but that's fine. I can skip a day, and then maybe this day or this day, I should go back and I should write a daily memory or something. I think that'd be nice. Maybe in a different color. Those are my months. And then the weekly section ordinarily looks like this, but it doesn't have a week. Like it starts the first week of January, like the week that January 1st falls on, so the last week of the year. And I wanted to get into this planner right away. I just really, really wanted to get into this planner right away. So instead, I've set up in the back my weekly layouts for the next few weeks of December. This is the week that I'm filming this on. And you can see I've kind of tried to set it up in a similar way to the weeks here. I wrote the times down the side from 6 to 12. and I wrote the dates up above and left a little bit of space, just like it has a little bit of space up here. This washi tape up here that has the days of the week is from Sunshine Sticker Co. I really like her functional washi tape and stuff, so I have that in there. And then this sticker over here on the side is also from that same Paper Minty Studio sheet. I sort of set this up the way I would ordinarily set up the way I used to use the vertical weekly in the Hobonichi Cousin, which sort of stopped working for me after a while. So I don't know why I thought it would work for me again, but I started setting this up that way for some reason, which basically involved me like pre-planning everything out and then putting in like what I wanted to accomplish that day. I also didn't accomplish these things. We didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. So this sort of method of like pre-planning and then forward planning when I'm gonna do something doesn't work for me in the vertical weekly. Obviously I can put like work and meetings that I have in the planner because those don't change and move around, but my sort of like, I'd really like to do this at this hour, that kind of planning has never really worked for me. So I started doing that in this week, but I realized pretty quickly that wasn't going to happen. And then I remembered that what I said I was going to do in the weeks section of the Common Planner was actually to track what actually happened. So this week is pretty much over right now. I'm filming this weekend, but I have all of next week. And I think what I'm going to do instead is come in here and plan what actually happened. So like kind of like memory keeping. I think this is going to be a real big memory keeping section for me. Instead of saying, you know, at the beginning of the week, I'm probably going to put in all my appointments like this with the gray Tombow sort of highlighting it. But instead of doing, you know, here's what I want to accomplish this day, whatever, I'm going to do like a little memory. So instead of writing out what I did during the workday, I'm going to write like workday went like this, big accomplishment, this, whatever. And then we're going to write what I actually did in the time I have off. I think that's gonna be nice. I think it's gonna be nice. I'll be able to use my stickers. It's gonna be good. This is how I put in tentative appointments. So I tentatively have D&D on this Tuesday. It's gonna be fun. Up here in this empty space, I've also written birthdays and a blank space for the YouTube videos that I want to go up on those particular days. I have those filled out here, like Moterm cover, goals reel, stuff like that. So that covers how I'm using the weekly section. And then for the notes pages, I don't really have anything else back here. I think I'm going to try to use it for journaling or like as a commonplace notebook. I'll probably use this notebook mostly in my home. It probably will not leave my home. So sort of longer form, like, you know, ruminations on like, this movie really made me think, or I'm learning about this right now, this is what I'm learning kind of stuff will go in here. The only other tracker that I do want to set up is for content. So I have like a loose pencil sketch here to sort of give you an idea, but basically I want to have a graph with all of the months in the next year, including this month, December 2022, basically tracking my follower count across my different platforms. So right now I'm on Instagram and YouTube, and I want to just track my follower counts. I haven't finished this or fleshed this out yet because I'm really not sure what a reasonable number is to put at the top. And I acknowledge that like my Instagram will probably grow slower than my YouTube because I'm primarily a YouTube first creator. But the idea would be like I'd put a little dot in one color for Instagram, a little dot in another color for YouTube, and then we just line graph in those colors throughout the year, and it would be fun. This section down at the bottom or over here would be for like a posting tracker. So again, we're working with those like lead and lag measurements. Lag measurements, like you really don't want to rely on like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. Oh, I want to reach 20K followers. Because if you're just relying on those measurements, you can't really see your own investment in your own actions. But if you look at lead measurements, you can really track your personal progress, even if you don't hit this goal, because it can be kind of arbitrary. Something you do, you put in the work, you put in the hours, and it still may not like work and get you more followers or something like that, but you still need to honor and value that time. So I'm trying to think of ways to track my videos and my Instagram posts in these two spots, and then I'm leaving like a third spot open just in case I add a platform or something in the new year. But basically, I think what I'm gonna do is do like a dot, like I'll demonstrate. Like say I posted on December 1st, I'm gonna do like a YouTube video. That's gonna be a post, right? And then maybe I also shared it to Instagram. That's gonna be dots or lines across the dot or something like that. I think that's gonna be probably what my key looks like. That's what I'm thinking about right now, but it's not fully fleshed out. So if you have any ideas or any videos to check out where people have done this before, please let me know down in the comments. I'd really love to see what other people are doing. But yeah, growing on YouTube and on Instagram and stuff is part of my goal. I really wanna make this space that we're in right now feel like a community and be fun and be active. So It's going to be a lot of work, but I want to be tracking that work so that I can honor myself and reward myself for when I either reach those lag measurements or accomplish my lead measurements. And yeah, the rest of the planner is pretty blank. I have a sticky note here saying like to track my biggest accomplishments for the channel, but honestly, I think the rest will be pretty simple. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself. Occasional journal entries, occasional note taking. I think it's gonna be really fun. And that is my Sterling Ink Common Planner setup. It is pretty straightforward and I'm really excited to use it. I am using it right now, even though the planner doesn't technically start for another month. So if you are also set up in your Sterling Ink Common Planner, let me know down below. Are you using it already? Have you drawn your own sections in the back like I have, or are you waiting until January 1st to really get going? If you liked this video, you may want to follow me on Instagram. I do all sorts of planner updates, stories, day-to-day musings, things like that over there. I'm at Rachelle in Theory. Or if you want to stay on this wavelength, you can check out the video that I have put up on the screen, or subscribe to my channel. That's always fun too. For everyone who's already subscribed, who's watched this all the way through, you guys know how I feel about you. I love you so much. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.